have to try not to.
Yeah. Don't get excited.
Who's going to be the first to join us today, I wonder? Hello, hello, hello. This Sunday evening. Who's there? I'm excited. I can see the numbers. Who's there? Oh my God, I don't... Funmi Jaboda, good evening. How are you? Who else is going to be joining us? I'm really excited to see you guys. I feel like it's been more than 24 hours and it hasn't been. Oriyomi, good evening. Innocence, hello, good evening. Gloria, thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. Stella, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. It's such a pleasure to be with you again. Justin, good evening. Nika, good evening. Good evening. Guys, as you're coming in, please, please, please do the honors and start to share our favorite words. Hello, Jude, good evening. Good evening, everyone. I'm really excited to see you all. Olatunji, good evening. Good evening, everyone. I'm really excited to see you. I'm really happy, actually, to see you. Well, I can't see you physically, but I know that you're there. So you know what I mean. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I am happy, and I am happy for this interview. It's been a long-awaited interview with the one and only Mrs. Banjoko. I will show you her face in a minute, but before I do so, I just want to welcome you guys and just say thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us. How has your Sunday been? I hope you've had a pleasant Sunday. I hope everything has gone well as planned, or even better. As we've learned, even good and bad, they work together for good. Hello, guess we've got here. Guess. Yes. We've got the husband of the one and only Mrs. B here. So, hello sir, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Wale Banjoko, good evening. I hope everyone else will join. The more the merrier, guys. Come on. So start to share and also start to invite your friend. Thank you, thank God, Emerson. Nobody has shared yet because Facebook haven't notified me of anyone sharing. So please share. Share. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. You know, no time, I can't say share without laughing now because I've been branded as share. You know. So anyway, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to turn my camera now so that you can see the beautiful Mrs. Banjoko right now. Voila! Look at her. Guys, look at her. She's such a chick. Wow. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Maiwa.
Thank you for accepting to do this interview. I appreciate you for doing that. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. Guys, you have met our interviewee, who is Mrs. Banjoko. And she is a DSA family, not just DSA family from the platform, but also DSA family by relations. So we cannot pass that. But I will let her explain all that to you. I don't want to be the middleman in this. I just want to be here to just poke on the questions. So without further ado, I am going to ask her to introduce herself. So Mrs. B, can you please introduce yourself to the rest of the family?
Hi everybody, I'm Roseline Banjoko. I'm also, my Igbo name is Amaka. I'm also Sade, so I have Igbo and Yoruba relatives, but I'm Igbo. I'm married to Sade Banjoko. He was here. He was actually here with my daughter in Ukraine up until a few days ago, and then he had to return to the UK. So I stayed back, you know, to receive, you know, some more from Pastor Sunday, because I'm really enjoying, you know, so much knowledge and wisdom right here. So I'll be going back soon, but I'm here in Ukraine. So I'm related to Pastor Sade through my husband. So besides being a DSA family member, we're also family because Dr. Sunday and my husband Sade Banjoko are so I kind of have a little advantage because of the family connection. Thank you, Myra. And it's been such an awesome experience just being here in Ukraine with Dr. Sade. It's absolutely fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was a good introduction. We know it's a family affair today. Well, not really family as in DSA family. Yes, this is Mrs. Banjoko. Do you remember the interview that I did? It's almost 10 days ago, actually, with Mr. Banjoko. That was a fun interview. I think that was the beginning of the interview after Pastor Derek. I think it was Mr. Banjoko. And now this is the better half of Mr. Banjoko, Mrs. B. And yes, they've been here for the Golden Night Jubilee together with their daughter, as she said. So I don't need to repeat that. That's just common knowledge now, so you guys know. And also you would have been seeing her over the last few days where we had time with Dr. Sade in the evenings. She shares the knowledge or wisdom and she contributes to the team. So yes, she's been here since, so a lot of us would have met her, or a lot of you would have met her already. So let's go. Right. So tell us, I want some insider information. Right, you're related to Pastor Sade, Dr. Sade, and yes, I want some insider information. So what is Dr. Sade like? Tell us a little bit about your relationship, being an in-law, according to what you said. So tell us a little bit about your relationship and how you see it.
It's very interesting. What you see is what you get. That's the way I can put it. What you see is what you get. So he's very warm. He's very honest. He's very open, very sincere, and he acts the same way with everybody. I think to some extent, I would find it a bit frightening that he can be so open to everybody, because not everybody might have good intentions. But I find him very open. Now, I've watched him in action. I know he's open with me and with other family members, but I've also watched him with people he's just met. So he just has that warmth. He just wants to radiate so much love and warmth to people. He's very much into being a vessel through whom God's love can come out or pour out. So he's always out there to just give of himself to anybody, anytime. He's just selfless. So for me, watching him both as a relative or as a mentee, I see the same person, just someone who is loving and giving and caring at any time. You know, it's a wonderful characteristic that I hope to learn from as well, for myself, you know. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, I just thought I'd drop that in for a minute and just see if there's a different Dr. Sade as a family or relative and Dr. Sade as our mentor or as somebody that we all know as a friend or, you know, as a father. You know, we have all these 50 attributes of Dr. Sade. If she's going to tell us differently, like, oh, Dr. Sade is this or what. But I'm not getting that right now because Dr. Sade is consistent, as you know already. Okay. Right, I want to ask you a question, and it is about family, right? So this question is about the difference between being a DSA family and being a family. I want to know how long you've been a DSA family, as in DSA family, knowing, you know, DSA family just started some time ago, whereas, you know, you've been DSA relative for a long time. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that have you always been following or DSA family? That's the question. Yeah. Did you start?
Yeah. So, good question. With regards to DSA family, I would say I really officially got myself more involved this year. Not longer. I would say just a few months ago. Because before then, what I used to do is I would read his books or listen to messages. If I have questions, I will call him directly. So I knew there was a DSA family. Of course, I know the things happening. But because I have access to him, I was sending a message. I'll say, are you free? I need to ask you some questions. I need to talk to you. So even though I wasn't part of DSA family, as in, DSA, how do I separate that now? You know what I mean?
Yes,
like ancient and all that. For me, I was still part of everything. I didn't really put a separation to the two. I had come here in 2012 to do HMT. I did come here. It was a fantastic experience. And when I came, unlike other times, I actually stayed with other people. I didn't stay as if I was on a vacation with him, sitting around talking. I was treated like everybody else because I came for business. I came to learn. And the only way to do that was to separate me and put me with everybody else so that I woke up with other people in the room. I was with other people in the room, and my focus was very different. But with regards to the whole idea of actually joining, like being part of the HMT group and things like that, only of recent, because I think before I just, I didn't see a reason to separate the two. I just asked him when I had questions. But now I see the advantage of being part of the bigger family, the DSA family, because it's a community there. There are communities there. You get to see more things, more information, more exposure, and encouragement. So I think it's important to be part of that as well.
Yeah. Okay, guys, did you see that? This advantage in being a DSA family. So if you haven't already joined the family or joined the few networks that we have on Facebook and other groups, then please do. DSA Family Chat is one of them. You can join. You can join DSA Notes. You can join DSA 50. You can join DSA UK, various DSA History Makers, the various DSA groups that you can join. So there's an advantage in that. Okay, you mentioned HMT in 2012. Wow, HMT in 2012. That was what, 5 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I do know that HMT started a while ago, but I really want to hear about that HMT in 2012. And before you answer that question, what number trip is this for you in Ukraine?
What is this? Number 5 or number 6?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to know if you really
something like that.
Okay.
Yes. So HMT in 2012 was fascinating. It was very thorough, very disciplined. As much as there'll be laughter between, of course, we're all human beings, but the focus was extremely strong. It was very powerful. I remember I was conscious of the fact that I knew it would be a drill, but I was conscious of the fact that Dr. Sade's relative as well, so I wasn't letting him down. So when we had to read books, because you're empowered to read a lot of books, like speed read, really quick, I remember that I pushed myself. I was determined to read everything we had to redo, all my assignments. Everything had to be done to perfection. I was very conscious of that. It's like no pressure, but I had to deliver. So I pushed myself. I was glad at the end, to see the results of that. One thing I would advise anyone coming for HMT, if they can, is, for me, don't come to HMT and leave the last day of HMT. I advise that when you come for HMT, when it's over, stay a few more days to allow it become flesh. Because what I did in 2012 is I became so empowered. I had so much information. I had my projects ready. I had so many things I was going to do. I was going to change the world. I had all this with me, but I left right after it was over. So when I went back to normal life, so to speak, I went back into work. I went back into everything like within 24 hours, like bang, bang, bang. And I had challenges. Even though I was on fire and I was trying different things, but I found that it was a struggle to balance the two, to find that balance again. Then different things happen. I got distracted. I blame myself for that. But I see where it went wrong. I did achieve some things, but not what I thought I would do. And slowly but surely, I began to kind of lose focus. So I would just say, if anyone can, whenever you come here, don't just receive a lot of information and go. Allow yourself some time to assimilate, let it become fresh, strategize very well before you take off again. Because what we have here is almost like we have this incredible bubble in this place that kind of protects you from the world. You can reason, you can think, you can have solitude, you can plan yourself, you can do so much, you can see clearly, you can hear clearly. Then you go away from this very peaceful, I get exciting environment, full of so much knowledge, full of the Word of God, and you plunge yourself back into the world. You have to find a balance with that, so that the world doesn't take over what you have again, and then you start from scratch all over again. So that was my experience. So I've learned to do that again. Other times I've come was more like with family, but quiet times as well, just to enjoy the wisdom, to read, to comprehend, to analyze, to understand more, especially with family. So each time has been better than the last. I just learn new things every time, and I really appreciate that. I really do.
Thank you very much. What you just said now is really great insight, and I just wish everybody would understand. I wish people would really understand the depth of the knowledge that you just passed on right now. Number one, I'll just recap everyone. Number one is, being in HMT in 2012, which is 5 years ago, and Mrs. Banjoko's experience was, she wanted to make the family proud, make Dr. Sade proud, and not be the one lapsing as a family member. She wanted to concentrate and do whatever she needed to do. It's an intense reading session. It's an intense program from very early in the morning all the way to really late at night, and then you have to deliver. So she did all that, she delivered. But one thing that she didn't do, which was to stay after the HMT ended. She left and went home immediately. And from this environment where, this environment, in her words, a bubble protecting you from the whole of the world. But it's not just a bubble that is deceiving you of what is out there, but a bubble that is protecting you in the terms that you can concentrate, you can focus, you can assimilate, you can learn, you can develop. So when you go out there with all this information without you actually, I think maybe it's a revision period. After you've done the intense HMT, you need a period of time to just be here, think about what you're going to do, maybe put your plans together. But once you go straight, you can't do that. You go and then it's almost like from one deep end to another deep end when you go back. So I really think that's what I got from that. I don't know if I'm correctly summarizing you. Okay, thumbs up. So that's real big knowledge. That's a real key thing, because it's not even easy to come over and admit something like that and say, right, I was in HMT and I didn't really do everything that I hope I would do because this is what happened. But this is a key lesson for everyone that coming to the HMT is fantastic. We're not even talking about just HMT, just generally to have time with Dr. Sade. HMT time is totally different from the time that you have after with Dr. Sade. It's more relaxed. You can have one-to-one with him. You can also have the sessions where we have in the evening, or even when he's just around. You can even watch him just the way that he does his own development, how he work. Just watching Dr. Sade working alone, that's a huge lesson for me personally. What time he gets up, his work ethics, what he does, to read his book, to write books, to, all those things. Just having 2 or 3 days of just seeing him doing that consistently daily, you learn something that you can go back and you can make your own when you go back. So I'm really grateful for what you just said now, because a lot of people, I've had the interview with a lot of people. Yes, some people, obviously, they're still here after an event, but to kind of break it down and personalize it. And the reason yours is so important is because you have access as a family member to Dr. Sade, and you are the person that's still saying that. You know, so that's even, he has even more weight than individual from like outside that are just not family members. They don't have the same access. If somebody that have the same type of, well, we all have the same access, don't get me wrong, but you know, being a family member, you have the liberty, is quite different from, you know, just a random stranger, or not stranger, we're all family. But you know how Dr. Sunday works. He treats everybody equally, and Mrs. Banjoko said that said the same. But what I mean is that if you're a family and you can, you know, call and do and ask him questions and do whatever you want to do, and you know, gain from him, and you're still sitting here and saying this, that, I think that's a huge knowledge for other people that are not even that close in terms of relatives. So thank you so much for that. You know, that's really fantastic. Thank you. Okay. Yes, I wanted to ask as well. Obviously, that's the reason why you're staying. I want to ask about you. When did you decide? Okay, you decided to come, and then leave when, and what happened? Because I know this, so that's why I'm asking, because I know this, and I want you to share it with everyone else.
So we had planned, just my husband, myself, and our daughter. Our other two sons are studying in uni, so they couldn't come. So we had planned, three of us, to come here to Dr. Sunday's birthday party to celebrate with him. And the whole idea was my husband was to come first, spend some time, and then I was going to join him with my daughter. And we're all to return back to the UK on the 30th of what are we, May, of May. But the longer I stayed, the more I realized that I wasn't ready to go back yet. When you meet Dr. Sande, and I'm not just saying this, anyone will tell you that, when you meet him, every time you meet him, he's saying things in a very casual way. But there are such life-changing things. He says things that for him is casual, for us it's like a huge aha moment. There's so many aha moments with him that he makes the Bible come alive so much, and it makes you question many things of what you thought you knew. So you find that you're learning so much, you want to know more and learn more. So we had to go back on the 30th, and I realized I wasn't ready to do that yet. I just said no. First, because my daughter's on vacation, I'm off work at the moment, taking some time out. It was, apart from just going back to the same mundane, everyday regular thing, I could afford to take some more days off. So I told my husband, and he said, you should do it, because I've been singing it to him for a long time. I want to come back here. But because of some family issues, we had to delay that. So he said, stay back. In fact, he said, stay more, add 2 weeks, add a month. Just do what you need to do. Because he also knows that after the last HMT, some issues happened that did not allow me to continue to do the things I wanted to do. We lost a laptop that had all my notes, everything. There's so many things that happened, and I wasn't happy with that. I've been singing it to him that I need to go back to just get all that sorted again. But bottom line, I had to stay back. So I had pushed my travel date to go back, I think 3 or 4 days after the original date. And he said, why are you doing that? Just stay longer. You're going to complain after 3 or 4 days. But then I was feeling guilty. I thought, oh gosh, I'm abandoning my family. They're back in the UK. 3 or 4 days should be fine. And I told Dr. Sunday as well. And he said, why are you doing 3 or 4 days? What are you doing? Why are you trying to rush back so when I know you have the time to stay behind? Why are you doing this? Okay, if you want to go 3 or 4 days, that's fine. Okay. But I think you should stay longer. And so you're not running and coming back, very quickly. And I thought, no, I'm going to do it. I know in 3 days time I'll be ready to do this. I'll be fine. 3 days is all I need. 3 intensive days, I'll be good to go. I'll get all I need to get. And by the 3rd day, I knew I was just starting. I'm like, no, I can't go back. So I had to go back and change my ticket again for the 2nd time. And add at least 1 more week to it. So I'm not going back. Yes, I'll be going back sometime next week. I hope I will change my ticket again. But I'm okay now. I mean, I like what I'm doing now because I'm allowing myself time for solitude. There is no way I can have solitude right now in the UK because I have family coming over. And that was my fear. I have family there right now. I have relatives coming over. It's going to be very busy. So if I leave here right now, I'm going to do what I did before and plunge myself right back into a lot of noise, good noise, but it's family, this, that, cook, and I wouldn't find that space again to think, to strategize, to organize myself, to plan, So by staying back these extra days, that's exactly what I'm going to do, to stay back, be in solitude, study, read, plan, organize myself, focus, be in the now, so I can have that time out, to be ready. So yeah, so I've changed my flight a couple of times.
Guys, I couldn't wait to tell you that. I really wanted to. Well, I'm glad that I got Mrs. Banjoko to tell her story her own way. Because, every time I'm changing my ticket, she changed her ticket, and I'm changing my ticket again. It's like, wow, you don't want to leave us. I love it when people stay. When people are leaving, it's like, don't leave, please don't leave. But I know that they will be back. So I really do want you to hear that story, how important it is to be in this environment, and also what this environment does to you, what it does to your development, your mind, your self-esteem, everything altogether. Your wisdom, your understanding of the world around you is really, for me, it's like second to none. I don't know anywhere else that I'd rather be. I stay here, and then when I go back to London, I only went back once, and I really struggled. I spent like a couple of weeks there. I couldn't wait to get back, So I do understand how she's feeling, and this is somebody that is married, that has children, relatives. It's not easy to make those decisions. So I do understand, and I know that I am very, very lucky to be able to do what I do. So thank you very much. Right, my next question really is about this trip. I know you've told us a little bit about, staying over and everything, but you came for the
district.
This trip, this particular trip.
Yes.
Sorry, this trip. I
Yes.
don't trip. Okay. So what I want to ask really is how the Golden Jubilee. I want you to just tell us about the Golden Jubilee in your own words. When you arrived, the day 1, which is on Friday, day 2, Saturday, and then day 3, Sunday. I want you to take it one by one. What it is for you, what it means, how you felt, what you expected, what you received. Just tell us, give us a little bit of picture from your own mind to our own ears. Thank you.
I have never been to a celebration that would last 3 days. I have never been to a celebration that will last so long and still continue, because it's kind of continuous. The atmosphere is still there. People are still doing things. And I remember day 1 when people came to Dr. Sundays house, so many people coming in to talk about all that. I'll just say the key things I found that, that are like mind-blowing for me. One of the key things I found fantastic and fascinating, first was the amount of people, the crowd coming in, fine. But what they were saying. It is only afterwards that Dr. Sade taught us about learning to party kingdom style, where everything has to have a purpose and a meaning. So if you're having a party, whatever you're doing, it must have a purpose, it must give glory to God. And not just because you're saying let's give glory to God, but it's in your action, your words, what you're saying, the testimonies, it must all go back to God. So the very first day when people came to Dr. Sunday's house, the atmosphere was charged with love. It didn't matter if somebody was black or white or whatever. It didn't matter if you're African. I mean, you had trainers dancing Nigerian music in a way I thought, seriously? And vice versa. It didn't matter what anyone was singing. There was just so much love. They were just engulfed or empowered. I didn't know what word to call it with love. But then also was the kind of testimonies that people were using, people were talking about, the things they've experienced, the things they've seen. And not just things like saying things like, oh, I want to give a testimony, praise God, and, I didn't have a house before. or I didn't have a car before and now I do. No, they were talking about testimonies of the fruits, basically what they had birthed from his teachings. You know, they were talking about things that maybe someone can say something like, oh, I was a drug addict and all that before. And from coming to or listening to Dr. Sunday's messages, I got out of that. And for me, you think, okay, testimony should end there, but then they go further. And now I'm doing this for the kingdom, and now I'm doing that for the kingdom. And mind-blowing testimonies, and just makes you sit down and just think, wow. They are empowered to go and birth their own vision, birth their own dreams, mind-blowing things. Many of them went back to school, got their act together, empowered other people, did so many things. So for them, that was how to celebrate his birthday, not by thanking him, but by giving glory to God that they can now be who they were called to be on earth. On Saturday was also that interesting one, because Saturday, we went to this incredible, absolutely, I forgot what the place is called, incredible place that had, what is it called? Admiral. It had, the party was around a beautiful lake. It looked like something from a movie scene. You know, I just felt like I should just be gliding. You just like say scene 1, scene 2 or something. It didn't look real. Everybody was again charged with love and happiness. It was beautiful. The dance and everything. And again, people spoke and gave testimonies, but 2 or 3 things that came out for me as well is the fact that Dr. Sunday did not just sit like on a high seat with Pastor Bosse. I like calling her Pastor Bosse. That's how they call it, Pastor Bosse. I love it. He didn't just sit down there with her like, okay, I'm the pastor, you guys are, He went to literally everybody to greet them, encourage them, hug them, and then congratulate them, encourage them for the things they've done and things like that. He went around everybody, recognized everybody. There was also the part of the introduction when we first came out from the, from the vehicle. It was a beautiful stretch limo, by the way, lovely stretch limo. When we came out under the red carpet, and he was walking down because everyone had created this line on the left and right for him. So he and Dr. and Pastor Boss were walking down. And it was a typical thing to walk down the red carpet. Everyone was waiting for him to do that. But he broke protocol and he went back. He left the red carpet, he left all that and went back to one talk and greet people and hug people on the sides who are not on the red carpet, but just to reconnect with them, to show that, he's human like them. It's not, he made it as if they also belong on the red carpet. It was everybody's celebration. It wasn't just his, and it was lovely. Between that and the brigade with their drums and all that, it was a breathtaking scene. The food was lovely, the place was lovely, everything was glorious, the dance was beautiful, decent, beautiful music, lovely. So something else I hadn't seen before was to use the, what are those things called, on the sky, the drones. I watched them use the drones to take videos and all that. But my first time seeing that happen in real life, that was nice. But more important was everything went back to focus on God. In everything, it was such a godly environment, godly situation. Everything was still to give God the glory, not about him. Yes, we'll see his pictures everywhere, and we even had badges saying Dr. Son at 50 and all that. But how I was doing, it was fantastic to just sit down and analyze how everything at the end went back to give God the glory, not about him, all about God. That was fantastic. Sunday in church was, again, another mind-blowing scene. We had service like no other. There were tables, no names on the table, just sit as you want. I suppose people had to leave one table for he and his family because, just to honor him, but there was no special table or special chair. Luckily they created one for my husband as well, and myself and my daughter. But basically we had these tables in front and tables around, and anyone could sit anywhere. There was no special, nothing like, okay, for dignitaries, and no. It was just, we're in the house of God. There was eating and dining in the house of God. Everybody was, it was a big feast, like a love feast, And after that, there was another dinner in a smaller church room. What would I call that? Like, like a hall, a smaller hall. That was also lovely, in which he did something I've never seen before. He gave out gifts. Now it is his birthday, but he gave out gifts to about 50 people, to 50 people to mark his birthday. And the people he gave gifts to were people who ordinarily may never have had a chance to even come on the stage or be recognized. People who are like in the back of the kitchen, people who have been diligent working with him for years. He gave recognition to each of them. He will call each person out and give them a gift and thank them for the service. For some of them, he'll kneel down. He just look at them and just say, wow, and just go down for them, because he was recognizing the fact that without them, without their service to him, without their loyalty, without what they did for himself and his family, he probably would have achieved the things he was achieving. So the level of humility, and you could see it wasn't a show. He wasn't trying to impress anybody. In fact, when he's praying with them, he would do that privately. He would move the microphone away, so you can't really hear what he's telling them or what they're telling him. You know, so it was very personal. It was very one-on-one, and he took his time for each person. They in return, you know, would say things of what they've done. I remember one of the stories. Well, before I said this, my daughter, my 14-year-old daughter, at one stage she turned to me and she said, "Mom, why are they all like this?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Everybody, the ones in the house, the ones in church, why are they all so passionate? You know, why are they all so, like, look at all of them. They all have this zeal. Why are they all so passionate?" And I knew what she was saying. So it was hard for me to put in words, you know, but I said, well, a lot of them may have had issues. I said, like, some of them were drug addicts before and now achieving things. And as if God heard me, to make her understand, the next person to speak was a lady who said she came as a drug addict. And when she came there, the government had taken away her children from her, and she had nothing. She was broken. She had nothing. But by listening to the word of God, by being encouraged, by becoming a Christian, by beginning to serve, she was encouraged to go back to school. She went back to school, got her degree, finished everything, then got a job, and then went to work in the unit that took her kids away from her. By getting her act together, not only did she get her children back, she also she headed that unit. So she's now the head of the unit that took her kids from her a while ago. So my daughter just said, wow. So, you know, it was as if I prepared her to listen to that, you know. So you look around and you see people whose lives have been changed, who are not coming out to say things like, oh, wow, now I have a car, now I have a house. Those are good things, but that's not what it's about. It's all about, and Dr. Son will tell you that, it's about your fruits. What is your life saying about you? What are you doing with your life? What is your kingdom goal? What are you doing? So to watch him congratulate these people on his own birthday, he was celebrating them. I haven't seen that before. Birthdays, I know, is the reverse. It is all about the celebrant. But he changed that. He was celebrating people, and that was powerful. That was powerful. So in a nutshell, for me, I am going to have a challenge to just have a regular party in the future. It'll be a challenge for me. I need to, whatever I'm doing, I'm learning that it must be kingdom focused. You know, kingdom focused doesn't mean I'm going to have to carry the Bible on my head and say, John 10:10, that kind of thing. It's not about preaching scriptures at people. It's about the actions we take and the fruits we show. So they in turn can repeat similar. So we duplicate, what we're meant to do. We duplicate Christ. We're meant to duplicate what Jesus Christ did for us. And Dr. Sunday shows us in his actions what Jesus Christ expects from us, so that we can also duplicate what he's doing and duplicate the kingdom purpose. So this weekend, the celebration was great, but besides all the festivities and all that, there was a huge lesson to be learned there, and that is priceless. That is priceless for me.
Thank you very much. That was a very comprehensive account of the 3 days Golden Jubilee. Guys, I know you've seen a lot of pictures, videos of the Golden Jubilee, but I think what's most important is those lessons that we're learning, the kingdom ways of partying, the kingdom way of behaving, the kingdom way of loving people, of celebrating people. Dr. Sunday really showed us, in this last week that, it's all about people. He's all about the kingdom. It's all about loving. That's all it's all about. And it really resonates with us so much that even in the house, we can't stop to continue to celebrate and understand our purpose, not just our purpose as individual, but our purpose to other people, our responsibility to others, especially when they're celebrating what we're supposed to do, what is our point, what is the point of us being in parties. Not that we don't want to celebrate people, but is there a purpose to the celebration? What are we going to share with other people? What are they going to share with us about ourselves in life, what we've achieved, what we're doing, what we're going to do for the future? So I felt so much the same, even maybe more so, because I remember how it started from conception to it's not really the end, we're continuing, but to the period that we planned for. It's just amazing time. But, you talked about lessons and a lot of things that you learned from the Golden Jubilee and how Dr. Sunday celebrates people and what it means to celebrate the kingdom way. But I really do want to know the key lessons that you take away. You said there are lessons, but what are those lessons? Number one, maybe I'll come back to the next. What are the key lessons that you're going to take away? You also said that you're not going to celebrate any party the same way. You don't think that you're able to do that. So the key lessons that you're going to take away from with you now, especially on parties, and how you're going to celebrate party, or what plans you have when you celebrate party, or you go to parties, even as somebody that's honoring somebody else, because you only have some limited control when you're going to somebody else's party.
So I would say for me there are many lessons, but let me just go on the two key lessons that are important for me. The first is to have a goal. So even in a party, as much as we want to celebrate and have fun, there must be a goal. I think my goal there, that's key, number one for me, is that I shouldn't assume that everybody coming to my party or maybe to one's party is or has a perfect life. I should use that as a point of contact to show God's love. Because what happens often in parties is that everybody is just smiling and happy. Oh, hi! There's this stuff all trying to look cute or look nice because it's supposed to be right. If you look, or your appear to look sad or down, or if you have an issue, then you're not kind of as if you wish to celebrate bad. So there's this air we're all putting, this pretense thing where, I'm sorry?
Depression.
Yeah, it's a pressure to look good. And so even if one has some kind of depression, someone has a problem, when you walk into a party, it means to kind of flow with whatever image it is, whatever image you see. So if everybody is saying hi, looking at this girl, you might just flow and just say, yeah, hi, hey, what's up? Yeah. But maybe deep down you're crying. So you walk in there, you see people who are all appearing to have everything going well for them. Everybody's excited. Oh my God, hi! Everybody's doing all that stuff, and the guys say, "Hey, what's up?" Here, and you can see guys who are doing the same thing, who look good, and they got it all going together, but you don't know if he's in some serious problem, or depressed, or is confused, or lost. And when I say depressed, not because one doesn't have money, it could be anything. He may have lots of money, just be depressed. You don't know what's going on in his mind. You don't know he's crying for help. So I think, I don't know, but I'll use me. Very often in parties, I see people in a very superficial way because we're all partying, so you want to keep up the tempo, hey, what's up? And everyone is, looking good. And my key lesson there is not to assume that everybody is having a good time. The normal general idea is that if anyone is not having a good time, then they're actually jealous. They don't wish you well, and kind of put them away. If I'm in the general idea is if someone is having something and people don't go, then they're seen as, yeah, I knew she wouldn't come or he wouldn't come. They can't stand my success. That kind of thing. We make a lot of assumptions as human beings. We think, we think everyone should be. We should all be the same, but we're not. People are hurting. So my first lesson is not to assume. And when there's a general gathering like that, I don't know how, the what, the if yet, but when it's a gathering like that, find a way to connect with people, show them love, and not the superficial nonsense. Have you found that many times when you tell somebody, hey, hi, how are you? Often we don't wait to hear their response, to say, fine, thank you. You've moved to the next person. So you go to a person in particular with all the noise and things, hi, how are you? You actually have not heard or even seen their eyes. Because sometimes when someone says fine, thank you, if you look at their eyes, I mean really look at them, they're not fine. They've just said that in a robot manner, they're actually not fine. You know. So my key lesson again is not to take people for granted, to find a way of showing love, to reach people, whether it's one person or 100, I don't care, but have the end in mind that wherever I go, I'm carrying the kingdom of God with me. If I carry God's kingdom outside and I come back home with it unreleased, I've done an injustice. So I need to carry that kingdom so that I release his love to people who are hurting. You know, to people who need love. A simple thing of seeing someone and actually looking at them eyeball to eyeball and say, how are you? How are your kids? Just something, say something to somebody and show love and show care. But just connect and hear people, talk to people, and not in a superficial way. I'm not saying, you know, get very dramatic and say, oh, how are you? In a very silly, dramatic way. But you know what I mean? Like, without exaggerating. But see people, like actually see people. Not a surface and look at somebody, look at them one-on-one. How are you? Speak to people and expect a response back and respond to that person as well. You know, touch people, connect with people, and let them feel God's love. So my first thing again for me is remember I'm carrying the kingdom of God. No assumptions. Release that love. No more superficial nonsense. The second part for me, the second main key is celebrating people. Celebrating people. Personally speaking, I'm not one for big parties. I actually run from them. I run away from big parties. I don't like noise. But I love gatherings. I always have little gatherings. I always like things like, I like fireside things. I like little cute gatherings and things like that. But when I have things like that, it's nice. I'll have some, you know, we can have some a few people around and we all have fun, and I like cozy, cute things. But even if it's a party, we can have cake and drinks and whatever it is. But it is still celebrating me, or my son, or my daughter, whatever. I have just learned now to turn it around, to use the opportunity to celebrate people. I'm just imagining, what if I'm having a little dinner or party and I invite a few friends over or family, and when they come, I have gifts ready for them. So I say, oh, come to my house for Saturday, let's have lunch together. And when they come, I've pre-planned it. And I have gifts for each of them to appreciate each of them. Can you imagine that? You know, so I took that on. I'm going to do that, you know, just to show appreciation for people and not just expecting others to, you know, come celebrate me all the time or any other family member. And even when I go to other people's homes and things like that, I hope to be similar as well. So those are for me the two biggest things that I want to start implementing.
Wow, wow, wow. That was just amazing to hear that. I mean, one thing that you said that really struck me is that if you go to a party and you carry the kingdom of God truly, and you come back home without releasing that kingdom of God, that you're not doing God, you're doing God injustice. You know, that got me really shaking, like, what? I am doing God injustice. I don't want to ever do God injustice. So it's just that simple, you know, to know that we're God carrier. So when we carry it, we have to release it so that we can upload it with more. That alone for me is like, it says a lot in terms of learning. So your first thing is to having a goal in mind. It's not just about the party. You gave those really, really detailed and almost visual for me, because I know how it is in parties. We go out and like, hey, hi, and we don't actually listen. You're so right. You know, you say hello to somebody, it's almost like you just do your duty of saying hello. How are you? And you just expect them to say fine without even listening to them if they said fine or not. And while you're saying hello to one, you're saying hello to like maybe 4 or 5 other people. So just noticing people, you know, carrying that kingdom and releasing the kingdom, having a goal in mind when you go to a party, that it's not just about enjoying and dancing and just pretense and just fake life and, you know, not being real. Noticing that people, even though this is a party, people are still human. They might be going through challenges. They might not be going through challenges. They might just need somebody to talk to. It might not be about money or anything. It might just be about connecting with people. I don't even think we connect because we're all just so, hey, hi. You know, I learned that as well from this party. I learned so much as well. I can't even put it into context with lots of the things that I've learned, but I have learned. It's actually changed my mindset. But the important thing that you said towards the end now is about if you having a party and celebrating people, you know, not just about you celebrating yourself. That is my party. It's, you know, people should come and celebrate me. There shouldn't be any problem. Everyone should be happy. Everybody should be joyous because it's my party. But just understanding that you want to celebrate people. You know, while you're saying that, I'm just thinking that we complain so much. We complain about friends, family, relationship, people that stab us in the back, people that hate us, and all those things. But we don't actually do a lot of celebrating each other for the good things that we do. We always kind of like talk a lot about the valuable things that we do to each other as human beings. You know, it's not just that people hurt me and stab me in the back or do anything, but we do a lot of complaining about those things when there are also people that are loving me. There are also people that took care of me, are taking care of me. Right. People that are, you know, even smiling when they see me. People that, you know, call me and check on me. But we complain as soon as they do something wrong or something is not right. That's what we complain. And what you said about celebrating people, that you're actually going to have a party or, you know, gather friends together. You like gathering. You don't like big parties. Gather friends and family together and actually get them something, you know, get them a gift. It so actually occurred to me that I could actually, you know, we could all do that. You know, it's not a much monetary issue. We don't have to actually get a gift, but just to gather together and just say the nice things that we do, what I love about you, what you do that makes me so happy, even though you upset me on this, but I want to celebrate you because you did this good thing to me, for me at this point. Because of the way that you smile, because of the way that when you come in, you brighten the house or the home. Because, you know, just celebrating, you know, you gave me a really good, you gave me a really good word there to hold on to. So thank you so much. I actually wasn't thinking in that way that, you know, to celebrate people, and I will put it into action. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. I just want to add something. One other thing I want to add to that celebration part is that what I've learned here is that Sade is very detailed. So if someone says something like, you know, Sade he's a nice person, he's going to ask you why, how, you know. And the point there for me is when you're celebrating people, just like Maya was said, you can mention to them what they've done. Maybe you come into a room, you know, when you come into a room, they brighten up the room, different things like that. You can say something to them. But very often we assume people know. So maybe I have some friends or some people that I respect a lot. And perhaps for me, you know, maybe for one person, her smile is so contagious that anytime she smiles, I have to smile. But I know that, but she doesn't know that. So after that, human beings, we just make assumptions. Like in my heart, I like this person, but she doesn't know what I know. So is that consciousness of the detail to be able to tell people that you want to celebrate, you want to lift them up to say, do you know your smile makes me smile? Do you know that when I'm around you, I really just feel like, I just feel wonderful, I just feel great. You really make me see a brighter side of things. It's the details. So here people give testimonies, you know, and talk about, you know, their fruits and what he's done for them. I was also hearing details And I was just thinking, wow, the details, I just make assumptions. I wouldn't tell people, you know, I mean, I may say, but most times I was just thinking that, oh, there she goes, she's smiling again, then I smile. Yep, she's making me smile again. But I'm thinking it. But the person has no idea of the effect they have on me that is positive. But by telling that person, I'm encouraging them. It's a feel-good thing for them to know, wow, I actually positively affect this person. And it's a good thing for me as well to know I've blessed you with that. So for me, celebration, like you said, may not be gifts. It's the things we tell people, but basically lifting people up. It's not about us. It's not about us. It's all about God.
Wow. Thank you so much. Guys, we're coming back again soon. Actually, we're coming back shortly. 9 o'clock, you know that we've got another show with Dr. Sade. We're sitting here talking, and we would like you to join us. Come back very, very soon at 9 o'clock. I think we only have like 10 or 8 minutes. But before I leave, before we go, I would like to ask the final question, which is, what are you taking home? What are you going to do differently from all your visits in the past? What tangible products or idea are you taking home? I think we all like to know that. And you know, guys, that Dr. Sade is all about duplicating him. The highest form of gratitude is to duplicate him. So I want to know what tangible thing you're taking back in a nutshell. And thank you.
The beauty is that I had already confessed that I had come in here for HMT before. I know some things I had put on my project, which I did not finish. What's the word? I did not complete. It's still in the works. God is wonderful. So coming back here and having the extra time to think, meditate, receive more words of wisdom and knowledge, it allowed me to expand on that in a way that has my mind blowing. At the moment, because I'm yet to have my big meeting with Dr. Sade, I wouldn't want to talk about those yet, if it's okay with you, because I think it's a bit, premature to do that. But my mind is blown away because it's just expanding my mind to more things that could not have happened even in 2012. So God is wonderful the way He can make us regain our years. In fact, there's a book by Dr. Sade saying it's called How to Regain Your Years. For those of you who feel that time has gone by and you've wasted time, I recommend you go get that book.
Okay, that was Mrs. Banjoko. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, you guys that are listening to us. I really appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you all. We're coming back very, very shortly at 9 p.m. Ukraine time. Please join us. We would love for you to join us. It's going to be a great evening. I'm looking forward to that as well. So I will see you soon. Thank you. Take care.